Yo, what's good, y'all? It's Sir Charlot. Welcome back to another video. Now, recently I've been reacting to Japanese themed videos and kind of trying to make a series out of that. But today we're going to take a little bit of a trip over to where my relatives are in Africa. So if you didn't know, I'm actually half Nigerian. So when I came across this little animated video called Growing Up African, it was really intriguing. I knew I had to react to it and critique it a little bit. Even though I grew up nowhere near Nigeria, I don't have an African name. I don't even have African clothes in my closet. But I'm gonna still try to critique it nonetheless to see if there's some similarities to how I grew up. So without further ado, let's get started.
Growing up African is like playing life on the hardest difficulty, especially if you're going to an American public school. Like the first struggle you have to deal with is literally your name. Like in most African cultures, you have an African name and then an American name. And to an average 4th grade science teacher, an African name looks like if you took a keyboard, slapped it across the ground, picked it back up, threw it in the air, and waited for it to somewhat look like a name you could pronounce. Okay,
Really?
class, I'm gonna take some quick attendance. Kobe, here. Jack, here. Okay, Vanessa, I see you. What the? That's probably me. I just go with the name pair. Can you shut up while I pronounce this name? Then for the next 30 minutes, the teacher's just sitting there butchering the life out of my name.
Real.
Everyone in the class is
And they be forcing it too. I didn't go through that because, like I said, I have an Americanized name, so I didn't go through that, but I seen it happen before. It's nothing nice. They be doing it on purpose too. You know, like as a black person, a part of your genetics can be able to just pronounce the word correctly. But for whatever reason, some American black people over here, they want to be so different, so they pronounce it wrong on purpose.
just looking at me
It's messed
awkwardly.
up.
Another struggle I had to deal with were the dumb stereotypes that people had about Africans. Y'all have water? Is it true you ride a line to school? Hey, bro, you live in a mud house, right? Do you actually have water? Is Wakanda a real place? Is
Really?
it water or wata? You keep
Really?
poo-poo in your pockets? Hey, bro.
Yo, will not believe the amount of times I got asked, like, do a Nigerian accent. Oh, yo, want to hear the Nigerian accent, though? You want to hear the accent? You're playing with me. Do not play with me. I am not in the mood today. No.
Bro, can you speak African? Like, you'd
Oh my
honestly be
goodness.
surprised the amount of times I got asked that question. But middle school and elementary school were the hardest times to be African, especially during the African scratcher epidemic. Like,
Why
when
did
this
that
comeback
exist?
dropped, being a young African child was a living and like, come on,
It
no lie.
wasn't,
Everyone
but,
scratches their
hey.
at some point in their time. So like, why was it Africans just getting targeted? But when I tell you, I literally couldn't do anything without being called an African scratcher at that time.
Real.
Wow, Paradise, you somehow managed to find a cure to every disease. You ended homelessness. You solved the meaning of life. But I can't award you because you're still an African scratcher. Hey, everyone, get up.
Real man. Like, I kid you not. For me, I'm not sure about what happened with y'all school, but with that, it didn't even end at the scratching. We're gonna ignore the pronunciation of, that part. Back when I was younger, it was African rear end scratching. Lips. Why did that exist? How does that even, don't even ask me how that makes sense, because it doesn't. When people are trying to hurt your feelings, they will do anything, including completely fail English class, because that does not make any cognitive sense. I don't know how it ended on that portion there with the scratching, but for us in our school, I got a homie named Paul, he can relate. Pretty sure I got some other homies can relate. It went to lips, because we had big lips. Wasn't nice.
A load of this
Neighbor.
thought he was gonna get an award. What? Hey, bro, laugh at him. Like, that epidemic had so many kids terrified to the point where some of these people weren't even claiming to be African. Like, you'd ask them what
Real.
they were and they start sweating, they start stuttering, like they wouldn't even be able to make eye contact with you. But
Exactly.
me, I couldn't do that. And I bet you're asking why. Because I looked African as
Fladoodle.
like, anyone could tell I was African from a mile away. Quite literally, because I was the only bald
Neighbor.
in that school. Like, my parents had me rocking the African Child Starter Pack, and the only other bald kid in that school was my brother. And to top it all off, my dad had me and my brother in uniforms in the American public school. So in Nigerian boarding school, it's common for kids to wear uniforms. My dad liked the uniform so much that he decided to bring his own for me and my brother to wear. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, he got matching sets.
Oh, They look like exchange students. I'm willing to bet they look like exchange students. The pain. Actually, as a matter of fact, I can kind of relate to this one. In my school in Texas, right? The rule was you had to wear a uniform, but it was their policy uniform. It had to be red, white, or blue collared shirt. Nobody was wearing white, so it was just red and blue people usually wear. And some khaki pants. Shorts were preferred. It said on the list, shorts preferred. It was nothing nice. It was nothing nice. If your kneecaps were ashy, you were getting exposed. If you were African, you were getting exposed. If you had both, you were double getting exposed. It wasn't nice. So I can relate to this one in some sense. Everybody was wearing uniforms, but the Africans stuck out, most definitely.
Yep, he had me and my brother rocking those nice brown khaki shorts, turtleneck with a polo t-shirt on top of it, white long socks, and to top it all off, some what the
Bonsai.
3000
Buttocks.
Why you hold on? What that one dude say?
Oh, brother, who's that on the logo? Because Jordan never did that move.
We're not gonna speak on this, man. If y'all remember the and ones era, the kids who couldn't afford Jordans or like didn't forward Jordans, my mom didn't forward Jordans for personal reasons, but you rocked and ones, man. And it'd be this other dude that'll do like I think he was like in a dunking position. It wasn't even know what you call it, like Jordan's YMCA type pose. You ain't have that, man. Type in one in the comments if you can relate to that one, because I know that's a rarity.
Like, the bullying was quite literally inevitable. I used to sweat my
Buttocks
off and come to school drenched because the turtleneck was causing too much heat on my body.
Man.
So after getting consistently roasted to a crisp by everyone in my class, I came up with a plan. So before I leave for school, I'd keep a spare of different clothes in my backpack. Then, when I got to school, I'd change into it and boom, I'm Gucci. Would you believe me if I told you that this plan backfired on me so bad? So on this day, the plan was going as
not
smooth
the school
as
restroom.
usual until I went to change clothes.
You're
Most of the
cooked.
time when I'm changing, I always make sure the coast is clear so no students or teachers can walk in. But in this day, I was in a rush, so I was rushing through the process. And everyone knows when it comes to a good plan, you cannot rush the process.
You cannot.
So I'm in the stall changing. I take off the uniform, and then I hear, there's no... Bro, it is 8 a.m. Why do you already have to use the restroom? And this kid who we'll call Devin walks in. By far the worst person that could have came in at this moment. Because he's like, you ain't got no toilet paper. What? This nigga ain't got no shoes on. Remember, I was changing. So obviously, I had to take my shoes off and my pants off to change. But this guy didn't care. And from then on, I was known as the kid that got fully naked to use the restroom. Another struggle I faced was during lunchtime because I like to bring my own food from home. But the only food I had at home was Nigerian food. So I used to have a circle of kids surround me and just watch me eat. Like, these were looking at me like I was a zoo exhibit. Like, I can literally make a whole nother video about that. Let me know if you'd want that, though. But yeah, it literally took me an entire year to realize that fufu and mashed potatoes weren't the same thing.
Real.
Struggle I faced,
I grew up American and it took me a while. I was like, okay, one is made of grain, mashed inside of a pot, spanked down over and over again until it turns into fufu. And the other one's good old hearty Idaho potatoes, you know. Like, you know, you put it in the pot with some boiling water, you get it all clean. Then you get that little grinder and you smack it down. You know, similar process, but it's not the same as the fufu, you know. It's not the same as the fufu. The fufu, it takes African culture in the smacky. Mashed potatoes, man, you just gotta put your arm into it, you know, and you'll get there, You may not have the right idea, but you got the spirit for it, you know.
The hardest struggle I faced was when my mom would cook food in the morning. So since my dad would leave early in the morning for work, he would leave my brother and I's uniforms on the counter. And since my mom was cooking, the fumes from what she was cooking would stick onto our uniforms. Now, most African food smells delicious and splendid. But on the other side, that food can smell catastrophic.
I just seen this at the store
So take this
dog. I just seen that fish head at the store when I was with my grandpa. He's on their side. That's the African side. We go to the store one day, man, and I look in a box. I stare into the box at a fish, dry fish. The dry fish staring back at me like this. Kid you not. I got pictures. All right. I exaggerated just a little bit. None of them made direct eye contact, but they were side-eyeing me. I don't know.
All of that, mix it with cologne, and it's literally GG for me. Because there is literally nothing worse than sitting in class and then, Nick, what is that smell? What?
This should've been
deer
off
ankles
in the
and
whole
bounce
video.
that. Nah, we're finna find out who smells like this. I'm finna go one by one and smell every one of y'all. We're finna see who smells like the McDonald's ball
Nah,
plate. So
come
apart
on.
from all this stress, I also was required by my parents to have good grades, which I didn't, which made everything.
Another thing I cannot relate to. My mom raised me. She was doing the research on what made kids smart. She was putting like complex black and white images in front of me to help me to be able to realize the mathematics of what was going on the paper, and my brain developed and I became very intelligent. Not saying that you can't become intelligent and not do stuff like that, you feel me? But my mom, she wanted me to be big brained, and I grew up big brained. And I made good grades up until I started acting up. That's another story, that's on me. But for the most part, I brought good grades home. So we can't relate on that note, but still though, I feel it.
Times harder because now I'm bald, I wear a uniform to school, and I'm dumb. Like, how is that three mixtures even possible? And Jesus Christ, oh the Lord, I pray to God someone can relate with me.
See, that's one thing he did not learn from his parents. One thing that you should learn in an African household: you don't misuse the name of the Lord. You don't do that one. I won't get into that, but some Christianity in Nigeria is fake. But one thing that you do learn is not use the Lord's name in vain. That's another thing I can't relate on. I'm disappointed. What's this dude's name? Far Paradise. We're gonna pray that you get close to the paradise in Jesus' name, because you skipped a couple of African lessons here and there, a couple of biblical lessons. We don't do that here.
Feeling of having bad grades, getting your report card, and seeing at the bottom it says parent signature. It was like holding your death sentence in front of your face. Like, I used to text my parents beforehand, like, Mom, Dad, like these grades not looking too good. They
Bro
look
got lazy
like,
mid animation.
Like,
I'm done.
P.S. I love you. And when I get home off the rip, I get my beat. Now, when I tell these stories, someone's gonna think my parents are abusing me. That is not the case at all. I love them and they love me. It was just tough love that honestly I'm happy I got, because it made me the person that I am. And being Nigerian, I love it. And all the things I've been through just turned into funny stories that I can tell y'all. I gladly relive these moments again.
Cool beans, cool beans. All right, so that was the end of the video. And I must say, for the most part, I can relate. Lip size, facial features, kind of semi-low cut. And this is a nostalgic one here. The one bump in the front and two bumps in the back type jump. I don't know why we got that head shape, yo, but that's how God made it, so I'm not tripping. Only thing I can't relate to is probably the hairstyle type thing. My mom was the complete opposite. She wanted me to grow my hair out. She didn't want me cutting it. When I was younger, she cut it once, but then she thought about the fact that, because mysteriously I was born with coils, like starter lock. Very weird and very cool at the same time. But then afterwards, my mom cut my hair off. Then she thought about it. She was like, I need to let my half African child grow his hair out. He's gonna have the coolest, head of hair. So then she let me grow my hair out, and I wanted to grow it out too. So she was the complete opposite. Even when I cut it, she still won't let me live it down. What's that expression? How does that go? Shoot. I don't know. But she still mentions it today. And she's like, you shouldn't have cut your hair. That was a big mistake on your part. And I'd be like, Mama, this situation has nothing to do with what happened. You shouldn't have cut your hair. You shouldn't have cut your hair. But yeah, as far as in public, man, you face a lot of judgment. I faced it so much to where, because my last name is Lazarus, and around that time, you had the Zika virus going on too. And that was on people's case heavy. So, people started calling me Lazarus disease, and somebody needs to put him in the Lazarus pit. He got Zika virus type junk. And it was nothing but the devil. Because the devil wants you to feel bad about who you are and how God made you. Even if you have a disability or something, he wants you to feel terrible about that so that you can compromise and be like the world, so you can try to fit in. Or some people, it ends up making them so sad that they want to exit the world, which either way, both sequences are not cool at all. But at the end of the day, I had to realize that no matter what you look like, we're all created by God, and he has a greater purpose for every single person, and it supersedes race. So somebody may consider me whitewashed for saying this. I'm not separating myself from my heritage or anything at all. I'm just being honest. I am a human being with a soul created by God before I'm African. I believe that my connection, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, comes way before my race. So it's my connection with him, then my race, then whatever else I'm interested in life. And if people thought like that, then that would end all types of conflict, because then you realize, oh, at the end of the day, at the root of the matter, we're all basically the same. So most def, if you learn something from this video, is to appreciate who you are and how you are. Don't be afraid to spice up your style a little bit, but then at the same time, don't be afraid to just simply be yourself. Like, I'm trying to get on a level to where I can walk outside with a bag and raggedy shoes for clothes and get judged, and I'm still good, you know? But yeah, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching. So from this point, go outside, touch some grass, enjoy your life. And this is Sir Sirlo saying y'all again, God bless and peace out.